it's limiting thinking that will stop you and I from developing into the person that we need to be to speak the language of the business in the future that we don't have currently. See, the universe will look at you and go, you're not the guy. You're not the girl. Your attitude sucks. The discipline around your commitment to building a company sucks. It lacks. And so, I think that, when opportunity and preparedness meet, then there's an explosion, there's a development, something happens. And this is why I say the harder you work, the luckier you get. How old are you going to be before you start to experience life like you want it? I want to tell you right now, whether you like it or not, there is a better way to do business. Hi everyone, welcome to the Business for Builders podcast. My name is Max, I'm your host. I'm the CEO here at Smith & Sons Canada Inc. And I'm the ambitious founder at elitebusinessadvisory.com. Customized coaching for contractors. Great to have you with us if you are just checking us out for the first time, and certainly pumped if you're a long-time listener and you have chimed or you've tuned in again. Great to have you along for the ride. Remember, one of these drops every week. Like and subscribe. Share it. That would be awesome of you. That's good karma. Give it to someone that you think might be able to benefit from it and improve their life as well. That'd be awesome. Get across to Business for Builders VIP on Facebook. Like and subscribe. Don't forget, check us out on TikTok. We have a bit of fun and games there. All that kind of good stuff. So if you want to get hold of me, jump across to elitebusinessadvisory.com and hit the book a consultation button, little blue one up the top right-hand corner, I think, and you can get 30 minutes with me just chatting about some strategies, chatting with me about what's important in your business, where you think you're winning, where you think you're not winning, and see if I can give you some, super hot value that you can tuck under your arm and go and implement today. And then maybe we can chat about whether or not we work together, on that coaching platform. All right, let's get cracking. Last week I chatted about disorder, okay? And we're going to move through this month chatting about disorder, order, prosperity, and then overcoming fear. That is the theme for the month. I don't know what the theme for the month is. I just felt that, this time of the year in November, I think it's a great time to do a bit of an audit and assessment of your business performance thus far, and then really rearrange certain things if they need it. To be able to sort of capitalize or make the most out of the next year. I think that, because business is an infinite game, it's just a continuum. It's just like more of the same. And so, I don't know that being successful in business is a summit. I think that the thing that drives me every day is just doing business better. And of course, technology, there's evolutions in the industry, products change, designs change, tastes change. Like there's always something that forces me to react or respond in a certain way within my business to ensure that I stay up the front. So don't be discouraged if you're not exactly up the front, in 2024, 2025 could be your year. And I'm telling you, it's going to have a lot to do with the way that you think about you and your business. So I think that for the majority of us people, we have to be focused on self-development and changing some of those below the line thought processes. We've got to be, thinking positively. We've got to be hanging around positive people. We've got to have a very clear vision as to where we want to go. And we've got to be able to prepare not just to put in the hours, but be very organized in how we utilize the most precious commodity that we have, which is our time, and what we're doing inside that time, and how we've strategically organized our week and our month to execute at the highest level and get the biggest outcome, and to stop doing the shit that we shouldn't be doing. Okay. There's a hot tip. There's a good little introduction. So we're going to it's a little bit of an acronym month. And so last week it was disorder. This week it is the opposite. We're going to order. So this will emphasize the qualities that contribute to a successful and a well-run building company, both in terms of operations and in the mindset of you, the owner and operator. So let's get started. There's not a lot. I guess there is a lot. There is quite a lot, but there's a lot of similar or very common, attributes and qualities and characteristics of successful operators that are well liked amongst their peers, that are preferred employers, things like that. And, it is a challenge to rise to that level, but is it worth it? Absolutely. And I think that needs to be something that we don't discredit or that we don't focus on as operators, or diss that. We got to bring that back into perspective, and everything that we do inside of our business is the ultimate goal is to just make your business the Rolls Royce or the Ferrari, or the off-road vehicle that you want. Like, you've got to figure out what is the end goal. What do you want your business to look like? For me, we want to develop a group of, authentic entrepreneurs, in Canada's where I play, but, obviously globally now that we're doing podcasts and, obviously I'm coaching with clients all around the world, we're really trying to move the needle. That enthuses me to make a difference. It's like, right, what can I do? I often say to my EBA clients, I am on your, metaphoric payroll in your corner as your business development manager. What can I do for you? And there's some building company owners that have higher demands than others. There's other building companies that are like, Max, thanks for the insight. Thanks for the heads up. I've got this. I enjoy, building systems within my business or what have you. And so, I think for us as operators, when you start thinking about, hey, I really want a nice, a nicely finished business that operates smoothly, without, a high level of input from me because we're so systemized, that's your goal, because, out the back of that, I talk to people a lot about, hey, what's your why? And we're going to talk about that later on this month as well. And some people say to me, Max, well, I run this business because I want to make more money. And I'm like, oh, what do you want to make more money for? Well, because I want to go and invest. And I'm like, okay, what are you going to invest in? And they're like, well, I want to do, I want to invest in real estate. And it's like, why? Well, to make more money. We're just, we've got to understand that the reason that we do all this business stuff is to make a better mousetrap. I mean, I'm dealing with some clients that have multiple generations behind them, of builders. So it's like, okay, what is it why do we keep doing what we're doing? We're just trying to make a better mousetrap because let's face it, we don't do rocket science and we're not certainly brain surgeons. We're builders, okay? We put building materials together and create living spaces for homeowners, essentially is what we do. So it's really not a case of, like I said at the beginning, we really just want to try and beat the system. And I think, setting us on that path where we can beat the system, really it comes back to you having your mental space in order, having clarity of vision as to what you want to achieve and what is the route, what is the roadmap to getting you there. And so obviously we chatted about disorder last week, and that's really what we want to move away from is disorder, because remember, what is the byproduct of disorder? It is chaos. Okay, so the opposite of chaos is control, and control is a natural byproduct of order. So today we are going to chat about order. So I have an acronym for order, ORDER. First thing there is organized systems. Surprise, surprise. Streamlined processes and workflows that ensure efficiency and clarity. Okay, boy, oh boy, oh boy. Systems. I've said before, and I'll say it again. Businesses operate off the back of good systems, and good team members operate good systems that help the business function at the highest level. So if we don't have systems, what is it that we're actually doing? If you compare your building company, okay, and I don't care what size it is, okay, let's say I'm talking to everyone right now who has a building company that doesn't do more than $20 million a year, okay, which is pretty much everyone, I would think. Now, you think about all the building companies that do 50 to 100 million a year. What are they doing different to you? What is it that they've got as part of their daily, weekly, monthly process that gives them the capability and the leverageability to do those sorts of numbers? Because remember, you're talking about getting recognized that is someone that could do $50 million worth of work, and who knows what the average contract value might be in there. You've got to be recognized as someone that has the systems to be able to set that deal up and then, of course, deliver the product. So, we've got to be very strategic in our approach, and we've got to lose the whole winging it, folks. Now, I don't mind, we've got to run a business, and this is the challenge for us tradies or builders, is that, we get taught how to do a trade, and then all of a sudden we go and try and monetize that by operating a building company, and we get no introduction to the granular, grassroots, micro detail of running a high-performance, highly efficient building company. And it's the attitude that keeps us stuck in that position. Oh, it's too hard. I haven't got time. Mate, I get it. So just cancel something. I don't know. See, this is, I bang on about this with clients and operators and franchisees, and they give me excuses. Now, I've got some guys that go, Max, this is where I'm at. It's not an excuse. I'm going to do something about it. Great. That is perfect. But whenever I get stuck and I'm just too busy, okay, see you in 12 months, because your life's going to be exactly the same. See, if you are going to bring about change, you've got to activate, you've got to create a different, activity within yourself and your business to make that thing happen. And so, designing systems, if I've just said it, is that we need systems so that we can bring human resource in who operate, who onboard quickly, and who can do their job competently from day one. That usually happens because you've got a system. Now, I talk a little bit about this recently, whereby a system, and there's hundreds, if not thousands in your company, and at the moment you're using the operating system that's up here rather than having a documented system, it becomes a place of accountability if you've got systems in place. So if we have organized systems, we've got documented systems throughout all of the 9 departments within our business, then that system is going to really allow somebody in your team to act autonomously, and at the same time, it brings accountability, because if something goes awry or something goes pear-shaped or sideways, you go back to the system or the playbook and you go, hang on a minute, you jumped over the fence, you didn't go through the gate. What's with that? Oh, well, I just made an executive decision. I said, you don't get paid to do that. Not in this situation. We have a system and we need it stuck to. That's a warning. So you have people that enjoy the position of autonomy, where they can act autonomously. And if you don't have a system, then there is no accountability. That's why I've got a franchise agreement. Here's the rules, and if you don't comply, here's the downside. Simple as that. It documents, it's the playbook, it's the rules. And so if you don't have that documented process, don't get angry at people because they go, no, you didn't listen to what I said. And you know why I know that you do that? Because I do that. I've done that. No, that's not what I said, right? Because these poor people that come onto our teams, if we don't have an organized system, they're busy trying to read your bloody mind. Now, stop it already, okay? You've got to start documenting. Oh, Max, but I'm too busy, and how do I do that? I get it. It's a challenge. Go and Google it, okay? You're on YouTube now. Go and use that YouTube as a search engine and go, how do I create organized systems for my building company? Go and use AI, for crying out loud. Like, dude, it's not that we don't have, it's not that we don't have the technology to make our businesses better. What we don't have is the discipline to put time aside to focus on it systematically and for the long term. I say to people, if you've not got any documented sales processes, and most people don't, then it will take you months, if not years, to get 80% of the systems down, without a doubt, okay? And I encourage people to start with the things that need doing more often than not, things that you want to palm off to somebody else. And I explain this by, my financial administrator. I literally had an invoicing process that was here, my operating system in my head, and I laid that out and I put it into a playbook and I gave it to my financial administrator, and now she does the invoicing. I don't have to worry about it. I've got a playbook that she follows and it works. So that's really, organized systems. That's how you do it. Okay. Order, OR. R stands for reliable execution. Consistently delivering high quality results and meeting client expectations. I just don't, no excuses. Just execute at the highest level. You can have an idea and go, I'm such a good XYZ tradesperson or whatever. But for us builders, if you say that to me, as an excuse, well, I was too busy and I did that, you're cutting corners. That's not reliable execution. Okay. I want order in my business. I want certainty. I want to remove the blind side. I'm always doing SWOT analysis in every aspect of my life and my business. I'm always looking for the threats. I'm always looking, for those weaknesses that are in my process. If you're going to make excuses, you're not going to fit on my team, because we consistently deliver at the highest level the results that clients expect, and therefore the natural byproduct is that clients are happy with the outcome. Okay, so reliable execution. Now, I demand that kind of thing from myself. Yeah, I challenge anybody to, say, oh, Max, I outwork you. Maybe there's guys out there, cool. But I tell you what, I'd be in the top 5%. Now, what am I doing while I'm at work? That's a good question too. I don't want to be just busy. I want to be productive. Guys say to me, Max, are you busy? And I'm like, mate, I'm not just busy. I'm very productive. I want every moment in time to be very productive and results driven, and we want to minimize the downtime. So reliable execution, we want to execute at the highest level. And of course, organized systems, which we just covered, will help us execute reliably. Well, we talked a lot about checklists. That's part of, to make sure that we, like good catch, make sure that things don't slip through, that we make sure that we have good control mechanisms and quality assurance so that we are delivering high quality results to clients. That definitely, and all this sort of does tie together. Okay, order. D for disciplined leadership. Leadership with focus, accountability, and strategic vision that inspires the team. We talked a bit about the lack of leadership. This is the opposite. Disciplined leadership, not just leadership, but disciplined. There is no wiggle room. For me as a CEO and president, for me as a business partner in a building company, and for me as a leader or a coach in my coaching world, lack of discipline is not an option. It's just not, and I think disciplined leadership is very macro. You go beyond that and you go, all right, so I need a high level of execution. I need always be working on systems. I need to communicate at the highest level. The focus and accountability, sure, that is exactly what I'm talking about. Having a strategic vision that says, hey, it's not a matter of what we're going through, it's where we're going to. And this is how we're going to put it together day to day, week to week, month to month. We've got to make sure that we are educating. Our business grows from the inside out. It's limiting thinking that will stop you and I from developing into the person that we need to be to speak the language of the business in the future that we don't have currently. See, the universe will look at you and go, you're not the guy. You're not the girl. Your attitude sucks. The discipline around your commitment to building a company sucks. It lacks. And so, I think that, when opportunity and preparedness meet, then there's an explosion, there's a development, something happens. And this is why I say the harder you work, the luckier you get. For me to launch a coaching business that pretty much outperforms everybody else in my coaching fraternity other than my mentors, because they're gangsters and, they're doing okay, in really quick time, was because of the commitment that I have to the construction industry, the commitment I have to giving back, and the fact that this podcast really did serve as a very good outlet for letting people know about what I do on the coaching front. But we were 2.5 years in before I decided to start a coaching business. See, so there's an opportunity there. I don't know what the marketplace is for business coaching in business in general, but what was happening in doing the podcast in the first 2.5 years when we really didn't feel like we were doing anything terribly successful, it was preparing me and it was developing the marketplace and my reputation. Because remember, we talked about consistency. Leadership are by nature consistent. They're not up and down. They're not unpredictable. You just know you can rely on them. They'll be there. They got your back. Like that is got to be the way it is. And if you want to, the saying that I use often is that he who learns to serve the best will lead the most. And I just think too often, we sit here and we go, well, everyone else owes me. Now, do I expect to get paid for what I do? Of course I do. Of course you do. But it's not my primary objective. I really want to get the human first and then we can do business. And that is exactly what happened with 2.5 years of podcasts, and so for you, I think that comes down to, being a good leader means you're somebody who's patient. We set deadlines for goals, and if we don't achieve them, what do? We reset the goal, because that's what disciplined leaders do in their life. Okay, strategic vision, you've got to have that. You've got to be able to inspire your team to hang in there with you. All right, so order, ORDE. The next one is empowered team. It's great how this segues straight into it off the back of disciplined leadership. Providing team members with the tools, training, and autonomy they need to excel. It's ironic, isn't it? I just think that you as a business leader have been trained a certain way. So you're a product of your environment. But I'm telling you that the curse has got to stop at this generation. We've got to stop with the antiquated way of Max rolling up as a 15 or 16-year-old and just go get a nail bag and then, okay, I'll pick you up at 6 o'clock from the bakery. That's exactly what happened. And then we go to a place called Arachula and we put a roof on a shed. And I've literally never been on a building site in my life, and no clue. There's nothing to help my growth or my learning, because back in the day, that was how it's done. Now, this is why I think that curse has got to be broken at this generation, because now we have the technology. You are utilizing some technology right now to have a listen to me bang on about how we bring about order within our business that I did not have in 1989 when I started my apprenticeship, okay? So I could sit here and go, well, I am the result of not having the access and the resources to training to make me a better carpentry apprentice or what have you, okay? But what we now have the possibility to do is learn about new technology to help us empower our team at a higher level and faster. So the word empower means to transfer the power from me to you. That's what I'm probably doing now to a certain extent, okay? Now, the way that we do transfer that power is we set your training system up with the tools and resources. So you can go and get a piece of technology called Loom Video. You've got a phone in your hand. You could upload that to a Google file and send your boys a link and go, this is how I want it done. Now, I would encourage you that if you're going to go down that rabbit hole, please make sure that you start building a library in a very organized fashion. Make sure that if you're going to go and send the boys links, you don't just send them on a text message. Maybe you could get that link and save it as a bookmark on their homepage of their phone. And if it is a Google form, let's say, they can just click that and do an inspection of the frame, and that basically ends up in your inbox, and then it actually transfers into a Google sheet as well for you later. So, we've got a lot of tools which it gives us the ability to onboard faster and more competently. And then obviously with that training system and that playbook to be able to make sure that we have accountability so that jobs and so that things are being done, efficiently and effectively, and helping us deliver to our clients the finished product level that we expect and what they expect. And of course, the autonomy is important, because I think people don't like to be micromanaged, okay? And I'm going to talk about that, in week 4 of November, where I talk about, if you're operating out of fear, you'll tend to micromanage because you basically don't trust anybody. And I understand where that comes from. And I have said before, and you may have heard me say it, that, hire the best people and don't trust them. Now, what that means is we just keep an eye on them from a distance. We don't micromanage. We have systems, tools, and checklists to make sure that the step-by-step procedures are being adhered to, so they can just go and execute without me getting under their feet. But then it makes it easier for me to audit and to really undertake assessments as to their performance and, see how they're going based on some of those training and or auditing tools. Okay, number 5 is R. R stands for resilient mindset. I think I made mention last episode about, we talked about grit and resilience, I think, in episode 200, where I interviewed one of my mentors, Coach Mac, who's a retired Navy SEAL. And we chatted a little bit about resilience in the heads of Navy SEALs, and I just think they're unbelievable human beings. So resilient mindset, maintaining a positive solution-oriented outlook, even when facing challenges. I just think that, the way that I deal with challenges is that I feel the pain of the challenge and you go, geez, Louise. But then at the same time, it's like, right, what can this challenge teach me? I mean, honestly, and, there's some very recent circumstances where, mate, there's some things that just get me absolutely seething with, frustration and my emotions go up. And so I start, having these, things that I want to go and do and all of this, bad decision-making process. And, you feel yourself going through that. But then at the same time, you understand that the resiliency that's needed to succeed in this business, if 70% by year 10 of builders fail, then for you to be, in that top 30%, and that's just survival. That's not even probably, achieving massive results, but really probably in the top 10% of builders internationally, you don't just get that credential because you showed up. It's going to take a lot of grit and determination. And then, okay, what are the tools? Like if you're going to go and climb Mount Everest and enjoy the recognition of being able to stand on the summit and take the photo and the selfie and see all those flags up there and then come back and not die, then, there's a lot of preparation and there's a lot of systemization and there's a lot of, mental sort of auditing going on whilst you're going there and, obviously having a high level of awareness. You're not going to get there by lack of design. It's going to be by design, and it's going to be you as the human are going to have to fight the elements and the gravity and the mental onslaught of negativity that can come from both yourself and others. Like all of that is going to determine whether or not you're resilient. I think a resilient is the outworking or the outcome. You can say, I'm going to be resilient. And the first negative comment on social media, you're like, oh shit, I'm not going to do this anymore. Like, well, that means you're not very resilient. I think anyone that's won a belt inside of an octagon is very resilient. A, they've done all the work to get there and get the notoriety and have the track record. And B, they've jumped in the ring and they've gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rounds and they've come out with a win. Okay. And you don't go in there and not come out bleeding. I mean, there's going to be, you can do it if you're quick. But more often than not, you're gonna pay the price and you're gonna sacrifice. And so whilst you're paying the price and sacrificing, the level of resilience is the underlying tone that needs to be applied to this. Your mental talk's got to be has got to be that I will make this work no matter what. That's got to be the process. So always be thinking about the qualities that contribute to your success, to your well-run residential building company. Because everything that you're going to need everything that's in you, both here and now, also and in the future, a high level of consistency. And of course, the overarching, story is to be, keep everything in order. Everything has got to be done in an orderly fashion. There's got to be a place for everything and everything's got to be in its place. And that's how it's got to be run. You've got to have the right people come in or end up on your bus and in the right seats with the right skills and attitude, behaving the right way, executing at the highest level, and then you'll start to get some momentum. I think, momentum might be the byproduct of having, good order within your business. So think about that. Don't forget, if you need to chat with me, you can get on a 30-minute call. Love to drop as much value as I can in 30 minutes, talk about you and your business, and, of course, get across to be a Business for Builders VIP. Answer the 3 questions, please, and I'll let you in. It's a great community there for some collaboration and some question and answer. And, of course, if you want to flick me an email, you can, max@elitebusinessadvisory.com. Go build a kick-ass business, and I'll see you again on the next episode. Cheers.